Hey everybody, Jinza here, and welcome to another episode of Small Bytes Plus. So we're going to be doing something a little bit different this week. We're not going to be looking at a new game in general. So it's a new game on Steam, but it's an old game overall. It is, of course, Digimon Masters Online. Now, I have quite a bit of experience with this game, so I played it back when it originally came out. And it has changed hands a few times and gone through some, I would say, quite drastic changes. It's definitely not how I remember it. Has similar mechanics, but it just doesn't feel like the same game that I played back in 2011. There is a Korean version, which I am told is the superior version. They get more updates. It's a bit fairer. But this game is, well, I would say it's highly pay to win, but we'll get into that when we actually get into the game and some of the mechanics. So, to start off, we will show you the character creation screen, and it is lacking to say the least. So you have 4 different choices of character, and you have no control over what they look like. There's also only 1 female character, so if you are a girl, that is going to be a bit of a bummer for you. So, I don't know, we'll just call this character HywooHearts, because we're not actually going into creating a new character. And once you create a character, you get to choose from 4 different starting Digimon. I would say they're fairly decent Digimon to start off with. I would say they also evolve further than the ones that you would hatch do to start off with, because they're your starters. You can get them to digivolve higher than normal without the need of certain items, etc, etc. So you have Agumon, Lalamon, Gayomon and Falcomon. Some of these I do not really know too well. I was a big fan of the original cartoons, really long ago when it was in competition with Pokemon. So there's obviously a lot of new Digimon because I haven't really followed it for years, but it does have a little bit of a nostalgia feel to it. So we get started and we get into some of the game mechanics and what's good and what's bad about it. So the whole game you play as a trainer. The trainer just serves... the trainer later on gets some limited skills, but for the most part it just serves as your sort of walking around controls. You actually attack with a Digimon, and if the Digimon die, that's when it's game over. I think your trainer can get fatigued from being out in the world and not at one of the hubs for so long. You can get items to restore that, but for the most part, it's if your Digimon dies, that's it, it's game over. So you click on a monster or other Digimon, and your Digimon will go fight them. As they fight, you can see your Digimon loses HP, and you can also use items such as there's ones that restore the HP outside a battle, and it will actually restore the HP of, I believe it's you and your Digimon. And then there's the little disc things which restore his HP and DS within battle. There is I would say a slight cooldown on them, as you can see, 10 seconds. So you can't spam the hell out of them and try and keep your Digimon alive. So if you're fighting harder stuff, you will have to use a bit of tactics to do so. Your Digimon also has different skills. For some reason we haven't got line of sight on that, even though we can see it. So every Digimon has 2 skills. It's a bit lacking, really. It does make the combat, I would say, a bit boring, especially when you considering how grindy the game is. So you both you and your Digimon get XP, and your trainer level actually affects how your relationship with your Digimon works. So you need higher trainer levels to equip new stuff for them and get better Digimon. And of course you need your Digimon to level up to become more powerful, and as they level up they gain the ability to digivolve. Now, digivolving, we do a little demonstration here, drains DS, which is basically your trainer's mana bar, and it takes a portion of DS to digivolve a Digimon, and it also will start draining over time. Now, the higher stage Digimon that you digivolve to means it's going to first off take more DS. As you can see, it's draining quite fast with this Geogreymon, but say let's show you It's easier to show you. So say I want to evolve him to Rise Greymon. If we digivolve him, then you see it takes an even bigger chunk, and now it's actually going to drain even faster. You can get items later on to help you, but for the, I would say, at least the good portion of the start of the game, to maybe mid-game, you're really going to have to spam different items to restore your trainer's DS if you want to keep your Digimon digivolved. Now, let's actually digivolve back so I don't run out. Now, every Digimon will, as they were using their skills, they will get skill levels. And this will give you the ability to bolster certain attacks. I think you only get a certain amount of skill points. I don't believe you can get these to 8-8. You may be able to. Haven't got to the late game yet. I actually never have get to the late game. But it actually makes these skills more potent. So that is a way to do that. Now, if you're saying, well, that's good and well, I've got one Digimon, now what do I do? Well, how this game works is there are some quests that award Digi-Eggs, but for the most part you're going to have to either just get lucky or basically farm a certain type of Digimon that you want over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until you get the it's not stingy and drops you the Digi-Egg that you want. Now, once you have the Digi-Egg you want, you will need this data. So each Digimon is a certain class. So say I think I've got one cooking ready to digivolve. I don't have enough data at the moment, but I think we can show you. So, as you can see, I have a Gabumon Black Digi-Egg sat ready near cooking, and as you see, it needs 10 data. So that's beast low class data to attempt to give it a level towards its hatching. Now, there's 5 levels of hatching, and to just hatch the egg, you need to get it to 3 of 5. 4 or 5 makes it a bit stronger, and I believe it makes it a bit bigger as well if you're lucky, and then 5 out of 5 is perfect. Now, the egg hatching itself is extremely tedious because you have, I wish I could show you, but I haven't got any beast data. I should have probably got some of that off camera so I can show you, but I think you get the picture. So you got this little spinner here, and when you put your low data in, it will spin around. If it lands on the blue, it will give you a level. If it lands on the red, it removes the level. It also has a chance of basically disintegrating the egg into non-existence. Now, the harder eggs like that one I have in there, the Black Gabumon egg, I have been through, I would say, a good 16 eggs and not got any to level 3 yet. That's because the game's RNG is a pain in the bum. Now, obviously being an MMO, most MMOs have some form of RNG, and it's usually on the drops, or say some of the fantasy MMOs maybe upgrading armor. This one has got a lot worse. I remember I didn't have so much problem back in the day when I played this, hatching eggs, or at least just getting them to 3 of 5. If you want to go for a perfect Digimon, then you can, but you really late game, you need higher and stronger Digimon to do the raids and stuff. Unfortunately, this game is a grind fest. You're going to be grinding eggs over and over and over again, and then probably failing and then breaking on you and probably crying because it's absolutely heart-wrenching that you can't get the Digimon that you want. Now, they do have a cash shop, and in the cash shop there are Digi-Eggs. Now, these Digi-Eggs are a guaranteed 3 of 5, but let's actually go to some of them. As you can see, they are $7 a piece. So if you want a specific type of Digimon, guaranteed, you need to pay $7, else you're going to be wasting a lot of time grinding and grinding and grinding to try and get the eggs to try and hatch it. And then obviously you need to grind all the data to actually be able to hatch them. Now, you may say, Jinza, that's not too bad, $7 for an egg. Well, that's quite a lot of money. Also, people don't realise that these eggs are not perfect. So, if we have a look at the purchase screen, it says, if reinforced mercenary digi-egg is scanned, you can get a digi-egg, which is level 3, 4 or 5 randomly. Level 3 1 minute guaranteed to go up to free without breaking. Level 4 1 minute guaranteed, so on and so forth. I think you get the idea. So you cannot even get a perfect Digimon for $7. So if you want a really strong 4 of 5 to Tsukemon, then you may have to buy a couple of these eggs if you want a guaranteed. Because what can happen, you can buy a $7 egg. I've seen it happen. $7 egg, get it to 3 of 5, and it's only a level 3 egg, but then you've actually got to risk it to try and get it to 4 or 5. This means it can actually destroy the egg, so goodbye $7 you just spent on that. I would YouTube it. There are some people that have posted videos of them failing and absolutely wasting tons of money for no apparent reason. This is a real problem because it makes the game very, very highly pay to win. And what will happen is that people that spend a lot of money on this game can then sell a lot of the items, say the ones that stop digi-eggs breaking. You can get an item that you put in the bottom slot of the hatchery, and it will stop the digi-egg from breaking, but they will use it up. So you may go through a load of those as well. So unless you have a lot of money, then you're probably going to struggle to get Digimon you want, and better off just going with the starter Digimon and any that you happen to manage to hatch. Now, I've told this is a bit better in the later game because the whole raids and that offer a lot of different data, mid-class data, which has better success rate. And it's a lot easier to get eggs because you've got stronger Digimon which can one-hit stuff and just farm like beasts. Unfortunately, getting to the late game is a rather pain in the bum. And I will go into why. The questing in this game is insanely boring. So you go through these different areas. Basically, this area is like a tutorial. It teaches you about all the different items, how to use them, how to use different Digimon, hatching your Digimon, etc, etc. You then get to the DAT center, and then it branches off from like a little train network where you go to little areas. Let's actually go to the DAT center, and I can show you a bit of that. We'll talk about it as we walk over there. So you go to the DAT center, and it's basically like a train hub. The one side's all the different raids and dungeons, and then the other side is all the different areas. And obviously the areas, just like any MMO, they go through sort of level variety. So you got like the level 10 to 20, 30 to 40, so on and so forth. Now the quests in these areas, as I said before, they are insanely boring. Most of the quests are just go kill so-and-so Digimon, or go kill so-and-so Digimon until it drops so-and-so item. And this is literally all the quests are. You do get some that go talk to someone, and that's about it. Now, with being a sort of MMO player that's played a lot of MMOs, this isn't really the biggest deal to me because I've done that a lot. I've done that a lot in World of Warcraft. I've done that a lot in other stuff. The bad thing about this is the areas they deceptively look big when they're really not. They're quite small little areas with just patches of certain types of Digimon sort of sitting in the corners. And what will happen is you'll get a quest to, say, go kill Woodman. And then you'll go kill your Woodman. And then you go turn in the quest. You'll then get a quest to go, say, kill Impman. And you'll go kill your Impman and then go turn in the quest. You then get another quest to go kill Woodman again. And as you can probably imagine and get the idea, you keep going back and forth to the same Digimon. So why do not? The quests are not very well streamlined. It would be better if you got all the quests to go kill the Woodman. So maybe someone wanted you to kill Woodman, and then another NPC wanted you to get the items, and then another NPC wanted you to get a different item. You get them all in one, then you can actually get this area, say here, over and done with. And then you don't have to worry about it again. Unfortunately, this is not the case, and you will be trekking back and forth to the same Digimon over and over and over again in the area. This area wasn't as bad, but the next area was absolutely tedious. So unfortunately, getting to the higher levels and the higher level content through the quest system is not very well done. The quests they're just the worst. I've played a lot of different MMOs, and I've probably found the quests in this one to be the just most boring, because there's not much really to them, and unfortunately just because the Digimon have such little skills, it just makes killing stuff over and over again, especially when they don't constantly drop the items. It's another one of those games that it has a chance to drop the quest item that you want. So as well as doing all the different quests and grinding, that's all you're going to be doing, is just grinding constantly. So this makes the game very tedious to play. So I would probably say only if you're really hardcore, die-hard Digimon fan, that you'll probably get a lot of enjoyment out of this. I like Digimon, don't get me wrong, it's good, and definitely the character models, they look nice, which is a real shame, and even some of the animations are really good, especially with the bigger Digimon, as you probably noticed the other players when we wandered through the DAT Center. They look really badass. Unfortunately, the game itself and the mechanics are just so boring and lackluster that it doesn't really offer too much for you. And the fact that hatching stuff, it's just a nuisance, really. Like, you cannot get the Digimon that you want. It forces you just to go ahead, and so it kind of just forces you to make do with the Digimon that you'll get given and hope to get to the later game. But for them, I've already become completely bored with this game. I would love to be able to say, yeah, come play it, but I really cannot recommend it. The game itself, when it originally came out, it was actually really good. It had similar thing where you ran around with your trainer and your Digimon attacked, and still had the whole they only have 2 abilities. But the egg hatching was much more interesting. It wasn't so pay to winny. Everything wasn't all in the cash shop. It was more to do with, you farmed eggs, you spent the time farming the eggs, but then you'd get rewarded because you farmed those eggs. You'd have, I would say it was a lot easier to hatch a 3 of 5. 4 or 5 wasn't too bad than 5 of 5, which you could expect. 5 of 5 needs to be a bit of a sort of challenge and achievement. You've gone through a lot of eggs to get it there, but just to hatch an egg was easy enough. The problem back then was there weren't so many servers, and the servers were absolutely crowded. So farming the Digimon 4 eggs, that was where the tedious bit came in, because there were so many players farming the same Digimon that it was hard to actually farm the eggs. But the game itself was actually pretty good back then, so I have no idea why they decided to change it. So yeah, I mean, I could go into in depth about this game, but I don't really see much point. I would say it's highly outdated compared to a lot of MMOs these days. The only thing it's got going for it is the Digimon look nice, and also that it is Digimon. That's really about it. So I mean, you can see the Digimon look cool. You can ride on some of them as well, and there's even bigger versions. They get really crazy big, and yeah. So really, that's the only thing that I would personally say it's got going for it. I know a lot of people do love this game and enjoy it, but it is a bit of a grind fest. So unless you've got a hell of a lot of time on your hands and you're willing to put hell of a lot of time into this, then I would say you're probably not going to have a good time with it. I mean, even if you put a hell of a lot of money into this, I still believe that it would be difficult to get everything you want, just because you'd have to put a hell of a lot of money into it. So it's not really good for younger people, and it's probably not very good for older people, because you like me, you probably haven't got that much time on your hands. So unfortunately, this was the disaster that is Digimon Masters Online. It's a game that could have had a lot of potential, and it probably could have become a really fun and interesting MMO. But I would say, unless you don't want to waste your time and feel a bit cheated, that you stay away from this and go find something else to play. Maybe go play one of the Digimon games on the PlayStation or something, because they were actually pretty good. It was the Digimon World games. They were actually pretty good, but unfortunately they're single player, so you can't play with others. Yeah, so everything's just done through the cash shop. They just want you to throw money at it, which is a shame. Anyway, guys, I would say I hope you enjoyed it, but hope it was eye-opening for you. And you know what to do. Like and subscribe, and we will see you next week for something a bit more interesting and fun, and not as disappointing. Okay, bye-bye.